please play just one more sad song, 'cause he's still on my mind. And I'll see you again tomorrow at my Suffertime.
Thank you.
No problem.
I couldn't say yes quick enough when you asked me. I was like,
What do you think about that?
yeah, make that. Yes, I'll do it. No, I told you. I go. I don't know. I'm sitting here producing. Is that what you want to call it? I'm glad to be a part of it.
It takes you back in time, you know, because it's like we're cutting what I consider the real Nashville sound with their instrumentation, the type of song we're doing, you know, the Dottie West song, and when she comes on the vocal in your headphone, it makes you want to play. You know? You gotta get, you know, you can't phone it in. You gotta get to work, and that's what I love about playing with Jeannie. And she's got a great ear for pedal steel. You know, she's always been a fan and always been a champion of this instrument. So that puts pressure on me, and also makes me happy too. You know, makes me play better.
One more sad song, 'cause he's still on my mind.
One more time, still searching.
Let's talk back at you. Yeah, that's good right there. That's good stuff, man.
I've been with the Opry for full-time for 9 years now. The connection between Steve and Jeannie via Dottie and Chet Atkins and my connection with Roger Miller was kind of my, I won't call it a calling card, but it was a significant part of me coming to Nashville. So for the opportunity for me to come here to RCA Studio B and do this session on this piano, you know, songs and intros that you've heard a zillion times, is a real kick to be able to do that with Jeannie and with Steve producing. So, and the Opry band and the Opry singers, it's wonderful to be able to do this.
Give me those last four, please. That 55. Just give me the 2255.
We're doing a session at the concert. Grady was leaving, and I was feeling pretty good about it.
On where is that both times around?
Where did you all cut these in?
That's
He was, there used to be in the middle of the room a big wooden platform.
Nothing matters anyway.
So the funniest thing,
Put everything else around it.
You can just claim that last lick right before there, that blob right before, right there. Yeah. To your right, yeah.
And I had been looking for this song that I wrote, Another Heart for You to Break.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, I saw it on here and I'm like, oh, that, you know, that's where that, and then I saw Suffertime and I thought, oh wait, I've always loved that song. And so I want to do that instead of my own. So I do my own. I know I'll never crave a new life. I've had to so fine.
Would it make sense to give us a password one time where you go, I know I never, instead of I know I never, you know,
Yeah.
maybe an option as an option.
I know I'll never.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
time maybe coming out that it might be cool.
The first time or the second one?
Either one you
After
feel,
the solo.
either one you feel or both or whatever you're feeling. But I was just thinking as an
Yeah.
option, it might be good to have one that's
Yeah, that's
full on.
different.
it's a joy because there's very few artists like her. You know, I don't demean any other artists, but there's nobody as full as far as writing songs, performing songs, and her stage command is amazing. She can make just a full house feel comfortable, you know. Well, even, you know, with her, so she's such a treasure, but to be in this studio, even where she began, you know, it's just such an honor, you know, to be here, and especially do this song in honor of Dottie that we do live. We've been doing it live for several months, but then she wanted to do this, which is certainly appropriate, and just a thrill.
That's where we punched out, right? Get you that next 8 bars after that, just the piano. Oh, and the steel.
See this? The choices we make when we're young. Hey everybody, Charlie McCoy here. It's always a pleasure to come back to Studio B. This is where I did my first 2 sessions in May of 1961. One with an unknown singer from Sweden named Anne Margaret, 20-year-old Anne Margaret, and 2 with the great Roy Orbison. And throughout the years, I've worked here so many times. I played with Elvis a lot, and oh geez, I mean, you know, the country artist here, the Browns, Waylon. I played on Waylon's first hit, and this place is always great memories for me.
Yeah?
Got it. That's what I needed. Thank you.
The end of the song.
Yeah.
Just take the steel out of it.
I don't even have a sister.
I'm sitting there. I'm 18, right? I'm not too savvy yet. There's a set of drums, there's a piano, there's a bunch of, wait, I don't see any music stands. I was troubled by this. Where are the music stands? Then the band came in. When you're 18, everybody looks old. Let's see, they turned out to be Grady Martin, Harold Bradley, Boots Randolph, Ray Edenton, Bob Moore, Buddy Harmon. I mean, but I didn't know who they were, you know. One of the other cool things I got to do was play on a session with a new young lady named Jeannie Seely. And we were recording downtown at 7th Avenue up on the 3rd floor, and I was playing bass. And we were doing a song, what was it called? Don't Touch Me. Oh, yeah. And we were running a song, and producer Fred Foster comes on and he says, could you do it ever so slightly slower? And Buddy Harmon looked down at me and he said, you can already eat a sandwich between downbeats. But this producer had a great instinct for tempos. And we slowed it down, and voila, what happened? A hit for her and a star to be with us for years and years and years, and really light the way, especially at the Opry.
To me, I mean, the Nashville sound, I mean, you might as well say Charlie McCoy he personifies the Nashville sound. So, that style of music, it's very classy and it's very commercial and structured, but it also has a soul to it, which Jeannie Seely is Miss Country Soul. So the Nashville sound of the 60s and the 70s and still what we do today, even though what we do today is different, this is special and it's more original. It's I don't know, it's got a thing to it that it's hard to pin down. But when you put a needle on a record and it makes you want to cry or makes you happy or laugh or makes you want to drink a beer or smoke a cigarette, that, you know, the Nashville sound does that to me.
Well, I'll introduce you to our good friend, super engineer Julian King here. He was the engineer on this session here at Studio B with Jeannie.
On my
Sorry, I'm kind of searching.
You know?
Well, this is pretty cool coming. We were talking about coming full circle, but for Jeannie coming here where she recorded years ago, and Dottie West cutting here, and the house that Chet built. I mean, here we are all coming full circle. But thank you, man. You tore it up, as they say.
did. I felt so comfortable.
Sorry. Let me figure out how to get it.
So anyway, these are snapshots from my very first recording ever, which was done in this room.
Right here.
And I didn't remember it until the baffles, Ron. So you know about those, I guess.
And Ron Harmon and I were talking, and these, they call them Porter pyramids, I think. Ron, I think that's what they call them. But they're Bill Porter, the engineer. I guess those are his designs, but that's one way that it was Studio B. But I guess that was some kind of sound design thing that they did back then. But I remember seeing those, And of course, my first thing I see was Glenn. Glenn Campbell, man. He's always got a guitar in his hand.
Right.
He was a dear friend, and it's so cool to see him, young Glenn Campbell, right there. Before he's
like
just
he looks now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
how he looks now.
That's sweet right there.
That's the way I
love
think of
that.
it.
Love
Yeah.
that. And he was the sweetest guy,
Yeah.
man. Still is,
And I started with Jeannie, actually with Jack Green and Jeannie Seely, towards the end of their partnership. And, so that's 41 years ago, 42 years ago this month, in fact. So I've been working with her a long time. She's a great friend.
Well, that's a bold thing. You're assuming Randy's starting.
And I love her, and I really like being here. RCAB, I've never been in this building before. So it's been a treat.
And I will be playing bass guitar on this session with Miss Seely. And this is my first time in RCAB,
All the headphone boxes are out
and
here.
it's a thrill. The hair on my back of my neck stood up when I came in because of all the history. My dad, I've been in the music business 42 years, been at the Opry 42 years, and my dad was there prior to me. So I know all the history here, but I haven't been here. So to be here is just extremely exciting for me. Yeah, and I've been with her on the Opry for 27 years.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you like recording with all of us, all crazies all together?
These are my favorite days when we have so many musicians in the studio, whether it's here or anywhere. It's just the collaborative effort. Everybody feels like they're a contributor at an equal level, and everyone respects their ideas. Now, if it's a bad idea after we've heard it, then we might tease them a little.
Yeah.
As we did.
But
yes,
everybody gets a
happens.
chance to chime in, and everybody feels free to give their best and get and go for that crazy thing like you're talking about.
Right.
If it's and we'll call them if it's too crazy, but we'd rather test the edge a little bit, right? And see.
I think everybody that comes in here, we all want the same thing, the best results, and you have an idea and it doesn't always work, so nobody's feelings
Right.
get
We were
Sometimes you don't know
stretching
till you
out
hear it.
tonight. We stretched out a bunch looking for some things.
Right.
Yeah.
And we go, oh, no, reel it back in, So
Yeah, a lot of times you just don't know until you hear the idea.
Right.
You try it.
Yeah.
You don't
I ain't
know.
scared.
Right?
Do we need to swap positions, maybe? Okay. Okay.
I'll push you down later.
She's on it tonight.
Yeah, don't forget now, we're doing blues. Don't
Right.
do too pretty. Yeah.
Let's bear down on them, McGill. Bear down, not so quiet.
There you go.
Wait,
On
you
here,
ready again?
attitude.
Got it.
I was and am still playing with Alan Jackson for the past 11 years, and Jeannie was kind enough at the end of last year. She wanted triple fiddles. Well, Well, this is a true honor for me and kind of a full circle, even personal experience for me today, because Jeannie was actually one of the first people that I ever met in Nashville when I moved here in 2007, and that was through my dear friend Ron Harmon, who was nice enough to introduce me to Jeannie. And I actually started out in Nashville as a tour guide here at Studio B. And so it's just a celebration for me of friendships and family that I've made, and Ron and Jeannie and Jean, and just and being here honoring Dottie West, who I never had the opportunity to meet, but I feel like I know.
And then she encouraged me, of course, to move to Nashville. And I remember saying, Dottie, I don't know enough to move to Nashville yet.
Were you in Titusville?
I was in California.
Oh,
at that
California, I
point,
got you, yeah.
And she said, Jeannie, Nashville's where you learn. And boy, was she ever right about that.
Oh my
wasn't it?
gosh. What year did you come here then?
64, I came and recorded my first session here,
Right here.
in this
Right
studio.
in this,
Yeah. Yep, those are wonderful memories. I had no idea where I was. I was in such a whirlwind. It didn't matter. I was as excited then as I am tonight. It's like it doesn't matter. I'm getting to do something that's just so close to my heart. I can't thank you enough for helping
What an
me
honor to be
with
involved
this.
in
Yeah.
this. And here we are full circle back at Studio B.
Yeah.
You know, so I
And-
love seeing you singing in Studio B with the lights were down low, and it
And
was
Dottie
good.
West is looking down saying, Jeannie and Stephen Noel.
You
Can
guys
you
are
believe
together.
that? Yeah.
Yes, you would be.
I knew you all would love each
I
other.
love it. I love it. Well, we've had that Dottie West love together for
Yeah.
a long time, haven't we?
Yeah.
She was wonderful and a
She-
great teacher, really, in a lot of ways for me. And
Oh, she had
Just-
such an influence on your life and career and
yours,
mine.
yeah, no
so-
question. And
Like we were talking about things that she taught us. I was teasing you about. She hired you so young so she could train you
train me
the
the way I want to. I heard her
Right.
say that.
They talk about that being the
That's
sweet
right.
end of the room down there, and they've got that X on the floor, you know, where it's marked with it's supposedly the sweet spot where they recorded
Yeah.
in, and so we
Wow.
got you in that spot tonight just to
Well,
continue
it's so crazy because when I was living in California then, and when they first booked the session and everything, everybody was excited about Studio A. It was brand new.
It was brand
And
new.
that's
Okay.
where I thought we were recording. And Ron Harmon is the one who did the research and found out why I ended up here.
Well, first stuff I ever did was in here too. I'd cut a few things, but never a major. I wasn't even signed yet. I was trying to talk Chet Atkins into signing me, and he did eventually.
Yeah.
But he brought me in here as a test, so to speak. And the console was sitting here, of course, looking straight that way. And the first time I walked in here, Chet asked me to walk in. He said, "Meet me at Studio B Tuesday," and I walk in. And Chet was sitting right here with a cigar, and I looked through, and Jerry Reed he was working with Jerry Reed. I went, oh my gosh! And I remember Chet said, "Jerry," gets on the talkback. "Jerry, come in," and G introduced me to Jerry, and I took Jerry's guitar, and he goes, "Do that song I'm already taking for Jerry," and so I knelt down and played it. He knew I was wanting to. Chet, I was trying to talk Chet into signing me,
Right.
and after I got done, Jerry looked up at Chet and goes, "Damn, sign this boy, Chet. What do you want, blood? Sign this boy."
I can just hear it saying
He goes,
it. Yeah.
"Damn, Chet, Chester."
Chester. Yeah.
'Cause he's still on my mind. And excuse me for not talking. It's my supper time.
Well, we're catching a vibe tonight. I mean, you know, Studio B, you got the history, you got the ambiance, you got the sound of the room. I mean, you can't sound bad in this room. You know, it's physically hard, you know, to do something like that. But, you know, with these ladies and gentlemen, these are all my heroes, you know. So it's an honor for me to get to work with, you know, Miss Jeannie Seely and Steve, and then you know, we have 2 country music Hall of Famers. You know, we got Eddie Bayers and Charlie McCoy. that's that's why I came here to town, was to get to play with people like this. It's a great it's an honor. It's got DNA soaked into it. I mean, when you think of how many hit records have been cut here.
First night I met her in person, of course, was at the Palomino Club.
Oh, wow.
And I
The
waited till
Palomino.
everybody else was gone because I wanted more time with her.
Sure.
And so when I introduced myself, and I said, but I've been a fan since the Landmark Jamboree in Ohio because I'm from Pennsylvania. And she said,
She died. I
what? She said, I don't even remember the last time I talked to anybody who remembered the
Remembers that,
Landmark
yeah.
Jamboree. So that was our connection
Yeah.
right away.
You guys were friends right away, weren't
Yeah, and we talked about, she asked me, she said, what was it about? She said, that interests me. What was it about me that fascinated you? So I told her there was one thing that I liked her stage presence.
Yeah.
And as well as her singing, of course, but her stage presence. And I said, and I was always impressed that you sang in correct English.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, she didn't slide on that much,
No.
did she? And you're right about that. Her presence was, she had this
Yeah.
presence about her. And when she came on stage, man, it was.
When I asked her about, she thought that was unusual that about the
You
English.
picked up
She
on that,
said, yeah, and I said, well, that's so important to me because I said, growing up poor, speaking bad English in my mind tied you to that.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
she couldn't believe it. She said, it's exactly why. She said, when I come from the background, I wanted to show that I'm not, I wanted to present myself.
And her story is,
Oh.
her story is fascinating, as you well know.
It is
If anybody heartbreaking.
Realizing all the iconic records that have been made here, and again, a lot on this beautiful Steinway. It did make a difference. The beauty of it is, especially the way that we recorded this song today, it's all live. There's just minimal baffles. We're all seeing each other, and it's in the open. And it was a throwback to how it used to be done, kind of updated a bit, but still the spirit of how things were done and who we were working with, and everybody's connection to one person or another from the past helped.
Yeah, and the same thing.
I know I'll never crave a new love. I've had a taste of one so fine. And shows the strength and courage.
That's a strong woman, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, boy.
Somebody
You're right.
I
got
wanted
chills,
from
man.
my hero.
I know, man. She was something else.
Yeah. Well, and I'm looking through, and I say this, but kind of, it's important to me with having a song. But look at this list of songs. She knew how to pick songs
Yeah.
too. But she encouraged me to move to Nashville and said, I'll help you. I'll introduce you to everybody. I'll
Oh, and
help you.
she
And
would too.
did.
Oh, yeah.
And the fun, I love all these people, and I'm so blessed to get to work with them all the time.
It is a great
So,
bunch, man.
yeah,
Singers,
it's just-
players.
That's why we were so comfortable.
Yeah, we run off all the jerks, right?
Yeah. Right. We pick on each other every week at the Opry, so.
And I bet that's a fun time.
It is, it's great. She was one
Well,
of them.
just after hearing your voice, I had done a little reading and relearning about your career and the nickname, Miss Country Soul.
This country, so.
Yeah, man.
It's
Right?
Apropos.
I'm like, as soon as I read it, after I heard a little bit today, I'm like, well,
I get it.
yeah.
I get it. Well, I don't know. I mean,
I was gonna say I could give up one of mine, but if he takes the front half of the solo,
He says he could have one of my pills.
I didn't play it all the way through here, but I could play maybe. How's the tone of this?
Sounds good.
Okay.
tone, steel tone.
Well, if there's
I mean, the
gonna be-
basic rhythm is, that's,
It'd be sure nice to get, if you don't mind playing Under the Pass without the drums, just
Sure.
Yeah.
If-
For isolation.
just to get, if Eddie and Danny are good, I don't know, did you guys?
I think I'm great.
Yeah, if we could maybe just take another pass of everybody. Yeah, if we could take another pass of everybody except for drums and bass, and just for legal purposes.
I'll sit back and smoke.
Yeah.
one.
hit one of Buddy's rigs, maybe it'll sound.
I've got a baritone. We won't really be able to.
I'll never craving.
hear that too?
What's that?
They want to redo the first, did they tell you?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, good, okay.
Intro verse
And-
up to the chorus.
Yes.
Here we go.
Oh, wait, let me
Oh yeah, make a duplicate of it.
I'd love to take a lot of credit, but Diana and Carly are not in here, and they're the ones that do a lot of the hard work.
They
around
did
here.
a great job as well,
They've done a
really.
great job of keeping the place up so that it still can be, something for tourists to see during the day, but we can still come in here and work and do these things, so it's still a working facility.
And they're still working, or they'd be in here talking with us.
Right, they're out there
still
wrapping
working.
cables while I'm in here getting interviewed on camera.
Yeah, no, they are great.
Just like my future's gonna be. Well,
We
I
appreciate-
recorded my very first session ever was done here in October of 1964.
Amazing.
So
Oh, my
the
gosh.
song we did tonight, Dottie recorded here, I think it was February of 1966. So I felt like we're reliving history, but we're also recreating it.
One of the things I love to tell about Dottie West, we were talking about Dottie, this full circle here at Studio B. I love telling this because you talk about girl power, You hear that all the time in this modern day, but here's some girl power in 1964. Dottie West winning a Grammy, the first female country artist to ever win a Grammy, and a song she wrote. I mean,
Yes.
hello, that's pretty
awesome.
amazing. That's pretty powerful, y'all. I'm telling you. And Jeannie,
I
you're
won
the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dottie's was 64. Jody Miller won for Queen of the House in 65,
okay.
and then I won for Don't Touch Me
In
in
66.
1966. And Jillian's won Grammy.
Yeah, he's a
I was
Grammy.
fortunate
He's
to
a-
win one for Faith Hill record in 1999.
Yes.
But
Julian,
you can say it, and I won't get into it now, but you can go down the roster of all these people that Julian has engineered and worked
Yeah.
with, and it's staggering. All our
I've
great
been-
artists.
yeah.
I've been lucky to grab onto some coattails and hang on real
I
tight.
was going to say, not
And-
that you would intimidate me by bringing Julian.
Exactly,
but you
right.
did.
But
yeah.
hey,
But
so-
of course, how many Grammys have you won?
I have been nominated 11 times, which means I'm 11-time loser, but but I've got 4.
Oh,
And an interesting story, I won, I guess you earn them, but 4 Grammys, and one of them, I actually have 5, but one is, I was nominated for a Grammy for an instrumental one time when I was on Capitol Records, and I was so excited, and I go, well, who am I up against? And they said, Chet Atkins. I went, oh, well, shoot. And Chet won, and he called me, and he said, I'm voting for you, Steve. I really think you should win this one. And he goes, and by the way, I've got 16 of them. And went click and hung up.
wow.
Nice.
And he wound up giving me his Grammy. And he said, he told me after that, he gave me the Grammy. And he said, you should have won this, and I want you to have it. And he did it on stage one time, and it was filmed and everything. And he says, folks, he looked at the cameras and said, folks, you cannot give these away. Naris frowns on you. You cannot give a Grammy away. He goes, and that's exactly why I had this plaque made and replaced it. It says on loan to Steve Warner from Chet Atkins. And I still have that one. So
That's cool.
That's my 5th one. I only did one thing in here. I did one, but I was scared to death. It was, I knew the history of it and stuff.
This is the first one you've produced in here.
Yeah. Oh, no question. No question. And I'm so
Yeah.
thrilled. I'm so tickled to get to do this with you today. This brings you and I full circle right here,
It
don't
does. It
Working
does.
with Dottie, I worked with her 3 years. And
I remember when she called me and she said, "You have to hear this young man. I've hired him for bass. He's only 18 years old, and his name is Stephen Noel."
Stephen Noel, my middle name. Yeah, she wouldn't call me Warner. She loved that middle name.
Yeah.
Born on Christmas. I remember when she heard me playing in Indianapolis with some friends, a club that I used to play a lot, and she was booked in there, and of course I had to be there that night. And her and Byron took me on the bus after the show, and she said, "Can you come and we want to hire you to be our bass player? Can you start right away?" And I go, "I'm a senior in high school." I just started my senior year, And she goes, "Well, when do you get out?"
How long
They were
ago?
fired up, man. I was too. It was like unbelievable.
Well, when she was opening for Tillis in Vegas, and she called me and she said, "Everything's going great. The shows are going great. I'm having a wonderful time." And she said, "I'm just missing girlfriend time." She said, "I want you to fly out here and spend some time with me." So I did, and she said, "We might even write a song." And of course we did.
I
One
figured
of my
that.
favorite things. Actually, she was talking about, because Bobby Whitten, who had been playing guitar with me for so
yeah.
many years, went with her.
Totally.
And so she said, "Did you find another guitar player?" And I said, "Well, he's no Bobby Whitten, but he's all I need." And we both just stopped. And she said, "He's not all you were, but he's all I need." She grabbed the guitar and I
Off
grabbed the
you
yellow
go.
pad, And that's how we wrote that. But that guitar player, by the way, was Doug Greaves, who's still
Oh, well,
with
he's been
me.
with
Yeah.
you 40 years. He's a
Yeah.
great player too.
Yeah,
man.
and such a great guy.
Yeah, he's
Just-
super guy.
I remember one time we went out west with Jeannie, California tour, and we stopped off in Vegas to see Dottie and hung out for an afternoon. And in fact, Bobby Whitten was playing electric guitar with her, and I think he was Jack and Jeannie's first guitar player, maybe, and then Brian Sterling, and then me, and I think we're the only 3 guitar players that Jeannie's had in her entire career, 60 years.
Pretty amazing.
I guess that tells you something.
I worked 18 years with Porter Wagner, and he used to do a show at the Nashville Palace every year and would give these little awards away to the artists and stuff, and Dottie was on it all the time, and we'd get to play with her. Yeah, she was a treasure. Great singer, writer, a wonderful person.
Bring it up just a little bit if you don't mind.
It felt real tight. I mean, to me. So.
Yeah. Well, then let's just get one more, at least one more, and without some of the leakage and
Without Eddie?
yeah, without Eddie and Danny, and then we'll get everybody else just to
run
open it up to them.
Yeah.
Can I play Liz with Randy?
But you brought the joy, Steve, tonight. Thank you
did.
for bringing Julian in,
Love it.
and thank you for just fitting in with all of us. And
Fit right in. And they all
Yeah.
knew him, all these players, most of them.
Oh, sorry. That's, gee. I can't figure it out. All these holes on there look alike. What is that all about?
we were all dressed up and went to the CMA Awards, and then we went back to Dottie's house, of course, to party and write songs and sing. So I took off my gown that I had made for the CMA Awards that year at her house and put on some of her jeans and a sweatshirt. Well, then when I went home, I didn't take it, and so it burned,
It burned.
in the house. And she called me and was apologizing. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry, you're beautiful. No, I'm like, Dottie, you just
You just
lost
lost everything.
and you're worrying about my
That was her
dress.
though, right? That was
Of
her.
course.
That was
She
her.
would think, you know.
Trying to figure a way to
Yeah.
get you
I'll
another
have
one.
another one.
Oh
made.
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
can hear
"No,
it. Yeah,
you
yeah.
won't." So, we swapped clothes and stuff all the time. That was how we got the mix up at the award, at the first fanfare.
That's a good story.
Because we always got rooms connecting, if possible, at the old Capitol Park Inn. But we swapped clothes and shoes and jewelry and purses, and we had swapped handbags. So the next day, I'm running to the DECA show, and so he asked me for my booklet. Well, it wasn't in there. So I said, well, do you at least have your badge? Oh, yeah, I got that. I reached in there and pulled it up and just showed it to him. And he's looking at it, and he looked at me. And I thought, oh, and I turned around. I said, yeah, well, you know what? Dottie West is going to come in here in a couple hours, and she's going to have a badge just like this,
says-
but it's going to say Jeannie Seely. He's like, go on, get
Oh
out
my
of
gosh,
here.
I love that.
Yeah, but I was sending songs back. That's when Connie Smith did Senses. Dottie
Yeah,
did
yeah.
this, and she did, it just takes practice to forget. Well, when I was living out there, I went to work for Liberty Imperial Records, and part of the time I worked for Metric Music and the publishing company. And
Right.
when I was there, one of my jobs was setting up the demo sessions and
Oh my
hiring
gosh,
the
really?
musicians.
Yeah.
Of course, they were, I mean, it was like Jerry Cole, James Burton, guitar players, and Glenn. But Glenn sang, you know, the
Yeah,
demos,
the demos.
so much, yeah.
That was the Wrecking Crew. You were using
Right,
the Wrecking
yeah.
Crew, Glenn and
That
James
was
Burton.
before they were that, they were all
I mean,
hungry.
that was pre-Wrecking Crews. What I meant to
Right,
say.
we were all hungry. That
I
was
saw James
like,
Burton about 4 days ago. I sat with him.
oh, did you?
hang out with
I
him, yeah.
hear he's doing like
He's doing
that.
well. Yeah, he's
Good,
doing well.
yeah.
And of course,
This was like 63, 64 out
oh wow!
there.
So that's yeah.
Yeah,
oh
it
my
was
gosh.
way before, you know, they were all
Wow.
Hal Blaine on drums, Leon Russell.
Leon Russell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and eventually he bought my tour bus later.
Oh, no way.
Here, it was just so funny. We just keep coming full circle. Which,
Oh, no question. Jerry Fuller, fantastic songwriter. We were singing a minute ago. Young girl, get out of my.
right, yeah.
He wrote so
married
many-
my roommate.
Oh, he did.
And Joe Johnson, of
Joe
course,
Johnson,
on
yeah.
4-Star Music and Challenge.
Bob Jennings.
Yeah, Mel Bly. I think he was in marketing. And then Dave Burgess ran
That's-
4-Star Music at that time.
That's Dave Burgess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I hadn't seen. Julian King, please.
I'm coming. Can I stand behind somebody?
What are you mixing it already in there? What are you doing?
Come on in here.
All right, how's this?
All right, big smiles. All right, ready? All right.
All right, right here. 1, 2, 3.
This love, I'll go on starving my whole lifetime. So please play just one more sad song, 'cause he's still on my mind. And I'll see you again tomorrow at my supper time.